In this video, I want to take you through and I want to talk about power hour. What is power hour? Well, power hour is the last hour before the market closes. And oftentimes we get nice trends and nice trading opportunities in power hour. So I just wanted to bring your attention to power hour today. Today is October 29th. It's a Friday, and we are going into the close of the market. And what we're looking for is we want to look for a signal, a setup, some sort of a trigger that's going to indicate to us whether the market's going to rally into the close or whether it's going to fall into the close. Because we oftentimes will get a nice trend the last half an hour or the last hour of the day. So how do we look to see what kind of a setup? Now I'm going to show you my favorite setup. I like to see higher lows and higher highs, and at that point I want to look for a trigger. So we're looking for a setup and a trigger, right? What is the setup? What is it that's going to get us into the market? The trigger. And I'm going to show you my setup and trigger, my favorite one. And we've got it here on all four charts. You can see that we've got the micro mini S&P 500, we've got the NASDAQ, we've got the Dow, and we've got the Russell 2000. Now, these are all the micros. Of course, the minis are exactly the same, but I'm going to show you the pattern that I look for. All right. So we're coming into power hour, and this market's starting to come down, and I want to see higher highs or higher lows. So if I'm anticipating a rise in price, I'm going to look for higher highs and higher lows. If I'm looking for a downtrend, I'm looking for lower highs and lower lows. So this is a pattern that I like. I like to see a left shoulder, all right? And a left shoulder is a dip in the market that comes down right here. And I'm going to show you just quickly here on the S&P. I like to see a dip in the market that breaks the blue lights, rallies back up, breaks the blue lights again, rallies back down, gives us a low, back up, creates another higher low, and then I want to see it break above the previous high and start to rally once again. So that's the signal that I'm looking for here in power hour. That's going to give me a bullish indication or a bullish rising market. Now, that's called a head and shoulders if we come in here and draw that out using the tools in Track and Trade. I'm going to use the head and shoulders tool, and what you're seeing is you're seeing this left shoulder. So the left shoulder is established as a new low. It rallies up, and in this case, it broke the blue lights. It comes down and creates a new low, which is the high point. It comes up, and in this case, it broke the blue lights, and then it came down and established a right shoulder, which is the low, but it did not break the head. Okay, and you'll notice it did not break the head. So the head has to stay lower. If this right shoulder comes down and breaks the head, well, we have a new, we're still in the downtrend and we're having a new reversal. So this is a reversal pattern. Helping us identify the fact that the market's changing from bearish to bullish. So this trend line, as you can see, is the neckline of a head and shoulders formation, and it comes in, and the breaking of the neckline should correspond right in here with this trend line, and it should also, well, this is where we're going to see the bulls and bears change over from bearish to neutral and then into the bullish trend. We have the bulls and bears blue lights coming in here, and of course this is the entry point, and this would be our exit. This is where we'd get out and take our profits at that point right there. Now, if we come over to the NASDAQ had the exact same pattern. We had this left shoulder, we had the neckline, we had a head, we had a neckline, we had a right shoulder. Again, the right shoulder did not break the head. So we get this pattern down here where we're having lower lows, and then that reverses and we start having higher lows. And then when it breaks the neckline, which is that trend line across these two peaks, that becomes our entry point right there. All right, so that's our entry point. And then, of course, our exit would be when it crosses the blue lights. And to give you an idea of just how much money that was today in this power hour time frame, on your micro mini, that was $94. That was a $94 move in the NASDAQ. Of course, if you were doing this on the regular mini NASDAQ, that would have been $940 move there in power hour. Now let's come down here and look at the Russell. Now the Russell had the same setup. It was just a little bit uglier. Wasn't quite as pretty as these other two here. These two are almost picture perfect, right straight out of the manual. We had this high point in here. We had this pullback here. So this is going to be our left shoulder. This is going to break to the upside. It then failed, came all the way down here, created a head, came back up, gave us a rally point, came down and created a right shoulder, a higher low, and then it turned, broke the neckline, and started to rally once again. So there was our break and our continuation of the uptrend. And that one came in and broke the blue lights right at the exact blue light placement of the neckline. So that was the Russell. And then we come in and we had the same reversal pattern here in the Dow. So if we come in here, we're going to go left shoulder, rally. This is our head, rally, pull back, right shoulder, higher, low, and we're done, and we're looking for the neckline crossover, and that should come in through the yellow bars and going into green, turning green at that point. Now, we don't know if it's going to continue higher and if we're going to get a big trend. That's why we trade time of day. We oftentimes, you'll hear me say, trading the time of day is the most important time to look for these different patterns, because in the morning, the patterns are going to have more energy and a lot more traders are going to be looking at these things. We oftentimes call it self-fulfilling prophecy, right? The reason it works is because we got a lot of traders who know this and they make it work. And so this is a process of a lot of traders seeing this pattern and saying, let's take it long right here on this signal, and then riding it up. So this is a process of identifying the patterns at the right time of day. And of course, power hour, the last hour of the day, is the right time of the day to be looking for this type of an event. So there you have it. This is power hour, the same exact pattern on all four markets for today's close.